All right, so welcome to another deep dive. Everybody loves a little celebrity gossip, right? Well, today we're heading over to Ghana, taking a look at two of their biggest stars, Shatta Wale and Fela Makafui.
And it's more than just gossip. It's really a glimpse into how fame and love play out on the public stage in Ghana. We've got a luxury car, a cryptic announcement, and a whole lot of Valentine's Day drama to unpack.
Oh, this is going to be good. Okay, so let's start with Shatta Wale. He's been making headlines lately with a purchase that's pretty hard to miss. A brand new Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people see a fancy car and think, okay, big deal. But in Ghana, especially among celebrities, the Cullinan, it's in a whole different category.
Oh, yeah?
It really is. It's like a symbol, you know? It says, I've made it. It represents success, reaching the top.
And Shatta Wale, he definitely knows how to show it off. I mean, there are photos of him all over the internet, practically draped over this car, like it's his throne.
Oh yeah, he's not shy about it at all. But you know, it's not just about showing off Shatta Wale's whole journey, and that's what makes him so appealing.
Tell me more about that.
Well, he started in Ghana, built his career from scratch. Now he's a global dancehall superstar. I mean, you think about that for a second. He's huge.
That's incredible.
It really is. And this Rolls Royce, it's like the physical proof of all that ambition, all his hard work.
So it's more than just a car. It's a statement.
Exactly. It's like he's saying, look where I started, look where I am now, anything is possible. And I think that's what resonates with his fans, you know? Yeah. It gives them hope. It's inspirational.
I see that. Yeah, it's like a symbol of achieving your dreams no matter where you come from.
That's it. Exactly. Okay, now let's switch gears a bit and talk about Fela Makafui. Her story is a little more, shall we say, mysterious?
Ooh, I like mysterious.
Yeah, right. Well, she recently posted this tweet. And all it said was, I said yes again.
I said yes again. Okay, so cryptic. What does that even mean?
Right. Well, the timing is interesting because this was just a few months after her very public split from rapper Medical.
Right. They were like the power couple of Ghana, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. They got married in 2020, had a daughter, Island, and then announced their separation in March of 2024.
Wow, that's right. Yeah, so this yes has everybody wondering what's going on in her love life. Is there a new man?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And what makes it even more interesting is that Medical has actually confirmed he's found love again.
Really? So she says yes, and he's moved on.
Yep. But here's the thing. Medical wants to keep his new relationship private. He's not naming names. He's not posting photos. It's all very hush-hush.
So it's like they're taking these totally different approaches to their personal life. Yep. One very public, the other very private.
You got it. And it makes you wonder, right, how much of this is about personal preference and how much is about image? It's a fascinating contrast.
Okay, so we have the cryptic tweet, and then to make things even more intriguing, Fela gets this over-the-top Valentine's Day surprise.
Yeah, I saw photos.
A room literally filled with flowers, champagne, a gorgeous bouquet, and it was all from a secret admirer.
Talk about making a statement.
Right. So we have Medical keeping things super private. And then Fela, she's sharing this very public display of affection, even though we don't know who it's from.
It's almost like a carefully orchestrated counter to Medical's privacy. You know what I mean? It adds another layer to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And of course, it makes people even more curious.
It's definitely working, right? I mean, people are talking.
Oh, absolutely. It's all anyone can talk about.
Sure.
And, you know, it makes you think about how these celebrities are using these very public moments to control their own narrative.
I hadn't thought about it like that, but yeah, you're right.
They're both in the spotlight, but they're choosing to handle it in very different ways.
So are they both playing the game right, or?
It's hard to say. There's no right or wrong answer, is there? It's all about what works for them and how they want to be perceived.
And I guess the public's reaction is part of it too.
Yeah.
Right? Like how their fans respond to all this.
Exactly. Public image, it's a tricky thing. It's constantly evolving. And especially in Ghana, where celebrities are seen as role models and trendsetters, it's a high-stakes game.
High stakes, lots of drama, and lots of questions about love, privacy, and what it really means to be a celebrity in Ghana.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack, isn't it? And we've only just scratched the surface. Yeah, it's a high-stakes game for sure. And I think it gets even more complicated when you think about the impact this all has on their families. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Like their kids are growing up with all of this attention.
Exactly. It's like their lives are playing out on a public stage.
Yeah.
Think about Medical and Fela's daughter, Island. She's growing up with her parents' every move, documented online. How do you protect a child's privacy in that kind of environment?
It's got to be tough. I can't even imagine trying to navigate those teenage years with the whole world watching.
It's a whole other level of parenting, isn't it? And it makes you think about the unique pressures of raising kids in this digital age, especially for those in the public eye.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. But, it's not just about privacy. It's also about the image these stars project and how their actions are perceived.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us right back to Shadowwall and his Rolls Royce. I mean, that wasn't just a car, right? It was a statement.
Totally. Like he was saying, look how far I've come. Anything is possible.
Exactly. And that message, it resonates so deeply with his fans, especially those who've been with him from the beginning. It's like a symbol of hope, aspiration, proof that you can defy the odds and achieve success.
Right. It's like he's leading by example.
Yeah.
Then you have Fella with her cryptic yes and that Valentine's Day surprise. It's like she's using those moments to redefine herself after the divorce.
It's subtle, but it's powerful. Instead of shying away from the spotlight, she's leaning into it, projecting this image of someone who's moving forward on her own terms.
Yeah, she's taking control of the narrative.
Exactly. It's like two different strategies for dealing with fame and relationships. In the public eye, Shadowwell is using his success to inspire fellas connecting with her fans on a more emotional level, letting them in on her personal journey.
And both approaches seem to be working.
It seems that way, yeah. Which just goes to show there's no one right way to be a celebrity.
It's all about finding your own voice, right?
Exactly. It's about authenticity and connecting with your audience in a way that feels genuine. And, speaking of unexpected twists, there's another element to this story we haven't touched on yet. Remember how Medical was all about keeping his new relationship private?
Yeah, he seemed pretty adamant about it.
Well, this is where things get interesting. There have been rumors linking him to musician Eazzy.
No way. Really?
Yeah, neither of them has confirmed anything.
But you're saying there's a chance this private relationship might not stay private for long.
It's definitely a possibility. And if those rumors turn out to be true, well, it'll be interesting to see how Medical reconciles his desire for privacy with the public's appetite for celebrity news.
It's that age-old dilemma, isn't it? The more you try to keep things under wraps, the more people want to know.
Exactly. It's like a magnet for curiosity, and it speaks to the power of the media, and the public's fascination with the lives of those in the spotlight.
They want to know everything, don't they?
It's like they feel entitled to it.
So we have Shadowwell celebrating his success, Fella Makafui embracing her new chapter, and Medical possibly facing a privacy predicament.
It's like a real-life soap opera unfolding right before our eyes.
And what does it all mean? What's the takeaway here?
If we step back and look at the bigger picture, I think these stories highlight the evolving relationship between celebrities and their fans, especially in the age of social media.
How so? What's changed?
Well, in the past, there was a clear distinction between a celebrity's public persona and their private life.
Right, like
Yeah.
what you saw in magazines and interviews, that was it.
Exactly. But now with social media, those boundaries have blurred. Celebrities are constantly sharing snippets of their lives, their homes, their relationships, even their most personal moments.
And their fans feel like they're part of it all, right?
Absolutely. It's like they have this direct connection, this intimacy that wasn't possible before. But it also creates a lot of pressure for these celebrities,
To share, to be on all the time.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it allows fans to connect with their idols on a deeper level. But on the other hand, it can be incredibly difficult for celebrities to set boundaries and protect their privacy.
It's like everyone's still trying to figure out the rules of this new game.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what makes these stories so fascinating. They're not just about entertainment. They're about the human experience.
Yeah.
Navigating fame, love, and privacy in a world where the lines are constantly shifting.
And that's something we can all relate to, even if we're not living our lives
Yeah.
in the spotlight.
Absolutely. We all grapple with these questions in our own way. How much do we share? How do we protect our privacy? How do we present ourselves to the world? It's a universal struggle.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
Luxury cars, cryptic messages, secret admirers, privacy dilemmas.
It's been quite the journey.
And before we wrap things up, I think it's important to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
The question that's on everyone's mind.
You mean the question of whether Medical and Eazzy are actually a couple?
Bingo. I mean, it's all speculation right now. But if it turns out to be true, it adds a whole other layer of intrigue to this whole situation.
No doubt about it.
It's like, on the one hand, you have Medical wanting to keep things private. But on the other hand, he's a public figure. people are naturally curious about his life.
It's a tough spot to be in, especially when you're trying to navigate a new relationship.
And I think it raises a fascinating question for our listeners to consider.
Oh, what's that?
In a world where personal lives are increasingly public, how much privacy can celebrities realistically expect? Is it even possible to separate the person from the persona when you're constantly in the spotlight?
Yeah.
So we've been talking about Shadow Wow and his, well, pretty extravagant car purchase, and Fela Makafui and her more subtle hints about her love life.
Yeah.
But there's something else here that connects these two stories that we haven't really talked about yet.
You're right. We haven't. What's fascinating to me is how both Shadow Wow and Fela are using these very public moments to shape their own narratives.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I see what you mean.
Yep.
It's almost like they're each sending a message to the world, or maybe even to each other.
Shadow Whale's Rolls Royce. It's more than just a display of wealth, right? It's a statement about his journey. It represents his resilience, his drive to succeed no matter what.
It's like he's saying, look at me, I'm here, I made it, and I'm not afraid to show it off.
Yeah, exactly. And Fela's cryptic, yes. And that over-the-top Valentine's Day surprise, those are equally powerful, just in a more subtle way.
Right, she's not revealing everything, but she's signaling that she's moved on, and she's embracing this new chapter.
It's a way of taking control, reclaiming her narrative, showing that she's not defined by her past relationships.
Yeah, and I think that's especially powerful for women in the public eye.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, they're often judged more harshly for their relationship choices than men are.
Oh, absolutely. It's a double standard for sure. But Fela, she's rising above it. She's showing her strength, her independence.
It's really inspiring, actually.
It is. She's defining happiness on her own terms.
So here we have these two high-profile figures navigating fame and love, but each using a totally different strategy.
And the interesting thing is, both approaches seem to be working. Shadow Well's fans are celebrating his success, and Fela's followers are right there with her, supporting her new beginnings.
It just goes to show that there's no one right way to be a celebrity or to live your life, really.
That's so true. Now, what really matters is finding your own voice, staying true to yourself, and using your platform to share your story authentically.
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Ghanaian entertainment scene, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
It's easy to get caught up in the drama and the spectacle of celebrity culture.
Right.
But underneath it all, it's really just the human story, ambition, resilience, the search for love and balance in a world that's constantly changing. Those are things we can all relate to.
So well said. And listener, we'll leave you with this thought. How much do you think public perception influences the decisions celebrities make about their personal lives? Is it even possible to separate the person from the persona when you're constantly in the spotlight? Let us know what you think. And until next time.